Right, in this video today, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant, to be honest, but I think it's something that needs to be said and is something that I've been thinking for a long, long time, especially over the past few years. And it's a mistake that I fell for myself when I was getting into the whole online money entrepreneurial space. And it's something that I just didn't realize until I met these people. Now, I've met a load of entrepreneurs over the past few years. I'm part of a big networking group for young entrepreneurs. I've met other people who run networking groups. I've been to Bali, Marbella, some of the biggest hubs for young entrepreneurs in the world. And something that I've realized is that these guys who you idolize, who I used to idolize, the guys who are making insane money and doing really, really well on paper and have these big brands, some of them are great people, don't get me wrong. And some of the people I've met who come across well and speak well and are just kind-hearted people. One person, I'll give an example, Rob Lipsett. I met Rob Lipsett, was probably one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. He didn't know who I was. I was picking up keys from him from a friend because I was staying in an apartment in Marbella and it was his friend's apartment. And Rob, he came, he shook my hand. He was one of the nicest guys. He said, if you need anything, message me. Such a good person, right? And we need more of those types of people in this online world because there's a lot of people who I've met who aren't like Rob, who are horrible and people you don't want to spend time with. And that's the problem because a lot of these guys in this online world, they associate their worth with money. Money is everything to them. The more money they make, the better they are. And don't get me wrong, fair play to them. You know, these guys are making really, really good money and maybe they're making 20, 30, 40, 50, 100K per month, and fair play, like not taking that away from them. But it made me realize, and the lesson that I've learned is that it's not all about money. You need to have other things with you. You need to have the other parts to become a proper man, you could say, or a masculine man. And in my opinion, you need wealth, you need health, and you need relationships. Those are the three most important things. And you have to have all three. And if you don't have all three, then in my opinion, you're not in a good spot. And that's why it's so important to surround yourself with the right people. Now, as I said, I've met a lot of these guys. I've met people where I've gone out to dinner with them and the first thing they ask me is, how much money do you make per month? And if you don't say a high enough number, then they won't speak to you and they won't bat an eyelid. I was in Rome for a networking event with a big networking group, as I talked about, that I'm part of. I met this one guy who was asking me how much money I made. I was telling him, I was talking about how I was a closer. He starts questioning me. He starts asking me loads of different questions, almost doubting me for what I was saying. And I remember that. I remember it so clearly. I was in Rome. I was in this apartment and I was speaking to this guy who, he was making more money than me. Well, I think he was anyway. I don't know for sure because, again, I'm not the type of guy to go up to someone when I first meet them and go, how much money do you make? That tells a lot about a person if someone says that to you, and that's the first thing they care about, right? And I remember speaking with this guy and I was just thinking in my head, you're unbearable. Like, you are not someone I want to hang around with. I remember I got up and just left the apartment straight away and was like, I want nothing to do with this guy. I'm not even going to speak with him. And it made me realize that there are lots of guys like that in this online world. There's a lot of people who put their value of themselves with how much money they make. And not only that, but they're not nice people. They don't value relationships and they don't actually genuinely care about other people and care about community and values and relationships, right? And those are the types of people you don't want to hang around with. And I've seen it because I've met entrepreneurs who are similar to me and who are great people, amazing guys who are doing really, really cool things. Yes, they're making really good money, but they don't just value their money with who they are. Yes, of course they're driven, and of course I'm driven. Of course I want to make more money. Of course I have massive goals for wealth and what I want to achieve. But it's not just about that. And the guys who I've met who I want to hang around with not only have big aspirations for financially where they want to get to, but they also have massive goals of wanting to be super healthy and fit. They also want to build great relationships. They're also great people. They want the best for you. They want to see you win as well. They don't just care about themselves. And that's the big difference. You need to hang around with those types of people as much as possible. Because when you realize and you get into sales or you start an agency or you get into this online world of making money, you will start to meet people and you'll realize that a lot of these guys are not the type of people you want to hang around with. And it has to be said. And I think a big part of that is because a lot of these guys, when they were growing up, they didn't really have any friends. And bear with me on this one, but they didn't have friends. So what did they do? They put the value, they had a chip on their shoulder. So they put the value into money. They had such a point to prove. I had no friends at school. Maybe I got bullied at school. Maybe things didn't go my way in some sort of way. So they attach all their value to money, right? And it's, okay, I need to prove everyone on. I need to make more money, make more money. But then they get to a point where, yeah, they may make all the money in the world, but they can't hold a conversation. They can't interact with new people without asking about money. The first thing they ask someone is, how much money do you make? And they won't then speak to you if it's less than a certain amount. And those are the types of people you want to stay well away from. The people who attach the money to everything. And the guys who I know and I get along with the best and who are genuinely good people are those guys who care about money, but they also care about relationships, community, helping people, and genuinely actually care. And they genuinely want the best for you. Those are the guys you want to hang around with. The people who bring you up, not bring you down. The people who you can aspire to, who are maybe doing better than you and making more money than you, but that uplifts you, it motivates you. It's not one where you see someone who's doing better than you and they won't even speak to you because of it. And then you realize, fuck, that's not a good person. That's not someone I want to hang around with. So the moral of the story is, stop looking up to these guys, because a lot of them are just losers. They're losers with big bank balances. And I know that sounds like almost like I'm jealous of them, but I'm really not. I'm really, really not. And I'd rather make way less money, but be part of something real, be part of an awesome community, have a great, great group of friends, of loyal people who actually care for me and actually care about me achieving goals and getting to the next place. Because the amount of transactional relationships that I see is incredible. The amount of guys I see who are making all this money, but they're so desperate for relationships. They're so desperate for friendships because everything's so transactional in their lives. They don't have that real friendship. They don't have that real... It's not real. It's just not real. And I see it all the time. These guys, yeah, they make this money, but then they realize actually it's not just about the money. They value other things. They realize, yeah, wow, okay, I proved everyone wrong and I have all this money now, but I have nothing else to show for it. I don't have people to share it with. I don't have people who are proud of me and where I've got to. And in my opinion, that's not a place where you want to be. You need to keep yourself. The more money you make, it should elevate who you really are. Don't change who you are. Money shouldn't change who you are. Money should expand money should make, what's the word I'm looking for? Money just increases who you are and shows it to more people. And if you are that bad person who only cares about finances, is willing to do people wrong, is willing to scam people, is willing to do whatever it takes to make money, then you're not the type of person I want to hang around with. And you're not the type of person who is a good person and will do well long term. Yeah, you may make money, you may make a quick buck here and there, but in the long-term game, you're not going to be there, because one of the most important things is relationships. Even in business and long-term, and I see it now, you have to have those relationships. You have to be able to have connections with people and build those connections, because those are the things that are going to serve you long-term. But that's besides the point. The point of this video is that a lot of these guys you idolize, and don't idolize them. Financially, yeah, they're doing well, but they're bad people. They're not guys you want to hang around. They're fucking losers, honestly. A lot of them, they're fucking losers. They're fucking, like, I cannot tell you, these guys are fucking losers. They can't hold eye contact with you. They can't have a conversation without talking about money. They don't care about you, right, at all. So stop putting these guys on a pedestal, please. And realize, if you're someone who has a great group of friends, and maybe you're not making the money you want to make, but you've got a really good group of guys around you, really good group of girls, a really strong knit family or relationships, then you're in such a good position. And you can't buy that shit. You can't buy relationships. You can't buy who you are as a person. So remember, when you're striving for money, when you're going for bigger and better things, don't lose who you are. Don't lose that side of you where you have relationships and you can speak with people and you can understand people. Don't become one of these online fucking gimps who, yeah, makes great money, but he's a loser. He's willing to scam people. He's willing to do whatever it takes to make money. Don't become one of those people. Keep your values. Keep yourself. Don't let money change your values. And that's something that I've learned a lot recently, especially now that I'm working with people and I'm working with clients one-on-one and helping them, is that the biggest thing for me is I want to build these relationships with my clients and I want to help them as much as possible. And there's nothing in the world that I want more than to see them win. And it's just not the same with a lot of other people. So be nice, be a kind person, be someone who people want to be around, right? And ask yourself that question. Are you someone people want to be around? Are you someone who people want to hang around with? Because I can tell you now, there's a shit ton of people who I would not want to hang around with. I wouldn't go near them again, who I've met over the past couple of years, right? So hold your values, make sure you know who you are, and don't put these guys on a pedestal, and do not let money change you as time goes on. Money will elevate who you truly are as a person. And remember that, and don't let your values drop because of it. But yeah, stop putting these guys on a pedestal because they're fucking losers and they're not people you want to hang around with. And honestly, they attach everything to money, and it's sad. It is almost sad at this point. Yeah, they do well. Yeah, they make good money. But fuck me, they're not people you want to hang around with, and they're not the type of people who you want to go for a beer with. That's the question I ask myself. Would I go for a beer with me? Would you go for a beer with yourself? And if you wouldn't, then yeah, sort yourself out. Bit of a rant, but hopefully that was useful. Stop putting them on a pedestal because you are a lot better than you think you are.